Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel.
It's good, my people.
So welcome back to It's Okay to Love channel, where we celebrate love without borders. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. How are you? Have fun. So today we are talking about how to navigate intercultural marriage. So my husband is making spaghetti for us.
Making spaghetti bolognese.
He's speaking like a Rwandan. Hello. Hello. Yeah, this girl is okay. She likes to be involved. Yes, we're in the kitchen. My husband is cooking. I'm helping by offering moral support.
Scam.
So today we're talking about navigating intercultural relationships, and yes, we're doing a little bit more of an informal style. So you guys will be joining us as we are, as my husband and I are in the kitchen. We did take some notes for you guys, so if you see us looking down, it's because we're looking at our notes. I want to make sure that we kind of just cover everything. We are actually doing a live Q&A with some ladies who are married to African. One is married to a Ghanaian. She actually shared her story on our blog at itsokaytolove.com, and her name is Renee Arthur. She's married to a Ghanaian. I'll leave her Instagram information below. There's another young lady. She's married to a Nigerian. Her name is Brittany Caldwell, and I will also leave her information down below. But yes, they'll be joining us on our live session. So you guys, if you haven't already, turn your notification bells on so you are notified when we go live. You can comment down below with any questions that you may have, and we'll be sure to answer them in our live session. The live session is going to be Wednesday, October 25th, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and that is going to be 4:30 p.m. West African time, Lagos time. Okay, let's jump right in. First, we want to start off with some tips for success of having a successful intercultural marriage. First tip that we have for you is to embrace each other's culture. So you want to celebrate your partner's culture and things that makes their culture unique. You don't want to sit there and try to just force your culture on your partner, you know? Like, my husband doesn't go out his way to try to make me a Nigerian woman.
Nah, I love her the way she is.
And vice versa, you know, I don't try to go out of my way to make him a Nigerian man or to make him act like a Nigerian man, you know?
Act like an American man.
I mean, that's what I meant. Sorry, guys. I don't go out of my way to make him act like an American man.
First of all, I don't like to be like an American man. I prefer my Nigerian culture. I stick to it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so Although I can do the accent every now and then, but no, yeah. In trying not to force your cultural difference on each other, you both are two different people coming together. So,
yes.
you know, at the time, it's more so like you grew up in a different part, she grew up in a different part. It's not healthy to try to put another person's culture on the other.
Yes, but you want to embrace your partner's culture. For instance, there's still some things that I took upon myself to learn the Nigerian culture, like speaking Pidgin English. Also mainly because I lived in Nigeria.
Oh, it's about a black Pidgin English. You don't even know. You don't know.
I've lived in Lagos, so it was only natural, or it was only, you know, smart for me to learn the Pidgin English. But that was the way for me to embrace, you know, his own culture. Now wherever we go, we can speak to each other in Pidgin. He can speak to me, or he can speak to me in Pidgin, and I understand what he's saying, you know, and we can kind of communicate that way.
You know, I'm from the Niger Delta part, Delta State, worry. Where I'm from, we hardly speak English, you know. They communicate in the Pidgin. I didn't want her to come to my state and then feel left out of the conversation, you know. I wanted her to be able to get involved, understand what people are saying, you know, be able to also navigate when I'm talking to her. You know, in some places that we don't want people to know what we are talking about, we can just speak Pidgin, you know, and then only both of us get the message, you know. So yeah, I made sure that I, you know, was speaking to her, and she also was quick to learn. And if it was something she didn't want to be a part of, I would definitely have not forced it on her. Yes, then again, she wanted it, she wanted to learn, she wanted to know what it was about, and it was easy.
Now, because I like them like this, so they like this Pidgin English. It's sweet now.
God.
The second tip that we have for a successful intercultural marriage is keeping the communication open. Communication is the cornerstone of any marriage, any relationship. It doesn't matter if you're the same culture or not. That's gonna be so important, because that's how you get over miscommunications. You guys are from two different cultures, so it's not everything that you say plainly that your partner is going to get. For instance, there's some things that in America we speak with a lot of sarcasm, and sometimes if I say it to my husband, he don't understand it like that. He might feel some type of way if I say it in a certain way, and I have to just be like, no baby, it's just sarcasm, I'm just playing. Like,
yes, now most of you Nigerian men would like our respect. Hello.
Yes, if we keep the communication open, you know, that gives him the ability to say, okay, well, what did you mean by this? Or say it to me in a different way. When we're able to do that, it helps to keep down the, like I said, misunderstandings, disagreements.
And with communication, you have to learn to understand that your partner cannot read your mind, right? They might be able to read the room, but your partner cannot read your mind. Ladies, you almost especially. I know you people are emotional beings, you know, but yeah, your partner cannot read your mind. If you're not vocal about how you feel, or if you're not, I mean vocal in the sense of, you know, really expressing how you feel, you know, it's hard for the man to decipher what's going on in your mind. And with the man too, must learn to understand that, you know, this is a woman from a whole different culture. She's not going to learn your culture overnight. She's not going to adapt to the way you think it is overnight. Some things will take some time to adapt. Some people will take some time to learn. So you must be able to communicate to each other what it is and what it was, and exactly how you feel, and
how you need your partner to help you and show up for you too, because that's important too.
Yes.
Do you want me to help you make this meat?
See this one. It's more so learning each other and knowing how to communicate with each other, because the minute you stop talking or you stop expressing how you feel, that relationship is almost as good as dead.
Okay. And you didn't answer me though.
I got it. You got me in the kitchen, so now she's asking me.
And they offer my services to you now.
Services. Girl, you see your mama? See your mama say she don't offer her services. I hope not be paid services, because anytime you want to offer services, they guys pay something in return.
Hello. Service no be free.
I did tell you, yeah.
Yes, the third tip that we guys want to give to you is learning your partner's love language. Learning your partner's love language, like that would really help, because me and him have different love languages. Okay, most of the time the way that you give love is often the way that you want to receive love. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the 5 love languages. If not, we'll leave a link below to the test that you guys can take. Take a test, you answer these questions, and then it will give you your partner's love language. And I think the love languages are like acts of service, gifts, personal touch,
physical touch.
Oh, sorry, physical touch, words of affirmation, and something else.
This is very important, because if you don't know your partner's love language, you might think that there's no way to please this person, right? You might just feel like you are doing all you can in your best knowledge, you know, to please the person, but it's not working. Not actually knowing that that's not how the person likes to receive love. Like, I remember in the first stage of our marriage, we both had this complicated too. At some point, we both received love differently. She wanted acts of service, and I wanted physical touch, quality
words
time.
Of affirmation. Oh, yeah. That's the other one, quality time.
Quality time. You know, I wanted us to sit down, talk, you know, most especially because we were all just getting to know each other. Like, we met each other 6 months after meeting each other on Instagram. We got married in December.
Yeah, so essentially even after marriage we were still getting to know each other.
True.
We had kind of like a disagreement about things, and one of the things that we did, or that we decided to do, we did a fast, we prayed, you know, we were led to take these tests, take this love language test. We also took a personality test too.
True.
Yeah, so you know, we did these things just to kind of give us some psychological background of what the other person is like, or is expecting, or whatever the case may be. That really goes a long way, because one of my love languages is acts of service. So if he's sitting here and he's trying to, physical touch is not the first love language for me. So if he's trying to like rub my back and touch me and kiss me, that to me, guys, don't get me wrong, sometimes too much touching is like, come from
Give
me,
me some
please.
space.
Yes, I like my space.
Yes.
So that for me would become annoying after a while if you're constantly touching. Like, you know, he likes to be touched. So I can touch his face like this and he will be fine. Me, please don't go and touch my face.
Yes. I did tell you, sometimes I just did look at it, God. What's going on?
But yeah, but you know, you see how, you know, he is here, he's cooking. That's an act of service. You know, that to me is like, wow, see, this man is cooking for me.
You love me.
I go give you some nice things. I go pay you for your own services.
You know, if as a man you don't understand this thing, you might feel like the nighttime is the best time to show love, or the, you know, physical touch, get close to her, you know, all those things. You might feel that's what she wants, but you really have to know what your partner wants. You have to know how they want to receive love, so that it's best to offer it that way, and that way you don't have to worry about what you're not doing right.
Also, just, you know, this isn't really a part of this, but also children do have love languages too. So these are some of the struggles that we face in our intercultural marriage and how we kind of like overcame them. The first is cultural misunderstandings. I think we kind of touched on this when we got on like communication, where we were like 3 months into our marriage. Me, I have a business. Let me not say small business. I have a business, so I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a content creator. So I'm doing a lot of work like at home on a computer, and he writes music. So, you know, he's not working every day constantly like I am. One of the things that we kind of had to overcome, if you don't know already, Nigerian men, African men, they are very traditional when it comes to like gender roles. while my husband, he doesn't mind being in the kitchen and everything like that, he does like for me to cook meals. He grew up with the women in the kitchen. His dad went out to work. That's their culture. In America, it just depends, you know. So a lot of us are coming from single parent homes. We may have experienced our mom, like for instance, my mom, she worked. So it was my sisters that cooked when she wasn't able to. She didn't really cook every night. So sometimes we would go out to eat or something. So, you know.
I sip every now and then to keep the eyes open.
Y'all, this man is drinking my coffee and claim he don't like coffee. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I just sip every once in a while. You know, I just have a sip.
We had a struggle in the beginning because I am not into domestic life. Please, I need help, a house help. I would like to have a house help to help me do these household things, okay? Because that's not me. I'm not gonna lie to you. For him, when it came to like, okay, I'm gonna cook the meal, but then now he's expecting me to like wash the dishes. Me, I didn't want to wash the dishes though. I didn't want to do it.
That was the problem, y'all.
First of all, the only people who can probably attest to this is my family, especially my mom. Me, I do not like washing dishes. Like I despise it. I do not like putting my hands in dirty water. I don't like when the food touches me. Like it's just like, I mean, it is just really like, it's like that to me, right? And I was just like, you know, it's okay. You are cooking. Go on and wash the dishes. I'm working. And it was a problem for us, you know. It was really a problem for us. And that was one of the things that led us to taking the personality test, taking the love language test, and seeing, you know, how we can better communicate and better like love each other in a way that, you know, reflects our love for each other.
Yes, and you know, for the most part, I feel like that was what really helped us, because for me, I wasn't ready to do the cooking and do the dishes. I said, no, that's not happening. I could do the cooking, I could go to the market and buy what we need and do whatever needs to be done. I'm not gonna do all that and come back and still do the dishes. No, I wasn't raised that way. It's a win-win situation. One has to do this, one has to do the other. So, and I really was thankful, you know, that we went ahead to do this test. It's a union. It's not one person doing everything or one person leaving it for any other person. You know, you have to compromise on some parts. And most importantly, I knew that she didn't know how to make our meals, so I wasn't trying to have her start doing it almost immediately. You know, I know it was a process, so it's time.
Literally, like the first meal that I made for him, y'all, I tried to make spaghetti from scratch while we was in Benin.
That was a disaster. Disaster.
You're supposed to let me tell it.
Good. Look, my people. That day.
Yes, that day. I mean, it was not good. But even in the same sense, you know, he also made a meal for me, and he put way too much pepper inside. And me, I don't like pepper, like at all.
Man, the first time I made stew for her and Jesus, or for us.
It was so hot, I could hardly even eat it.
If you are familiar with Nigerian pepper, you know we like adgarodo, tatashi, everything. I just chop everything, put inside.
It was so bad. This is our first experience cooking for each other. One of the things that I did during that time is I would always listen to sermons about wifehood and, you know, being a godly woman, being a godly wife. One of the things that I came across was this lady reverend. She's actually a Ghanaian pastor, basically just talking about submitting and all of these things, and that to me kind of helped too, because when we did have this disagreement, before we decided to talk about it and, you know, do the personality test and all of these things like that, guys, I was like giving cold shoulder, like, please don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you right now.
For me, it wasn't a problem because I knew whether you want to talk to me, you must come to terms of agreement. That did the color. Yeah, so because that's not gonna happen, and I knew I wasn't gonna agree to it, so.
But we stayed doing like watching sermons on like marriage and all this stuff like that, and you know, over time we learned that regardless of who's doing what, we are to help each other. So whatever I can do to help him be in a state of like progress, then I should be doing that, and vice versa. Whatever he can do for me to be in a state of progress, you know, is what he does essentially.
But again, I would say Lady Reverend, I don't know if she will come across this.
Lady Reverend Adelaide.
Lady Reverend Adelaide, right?
Adelaide.
Wherever you are, God bless you, okay? Because what you spoke in the message about marriage really helped us and really saved our marriage.
Yes.
Because me, I was like, oh God, first of all, I did not come to this marriage to come and serve. I mean, we are here to serve each other, but not come and be the servant here. No. If I'm not the head of this house, there's a problem.
Yes, but we don't even realize that literally that's what marriage is. We both are becoming servants to each other.
True.
And yes, but like we said, with time, you know, we had to realize that by doing the love language test, doing the personality test, listening to sermons about marriage, listening to sermons about, you know, what it means to be a husband, what it means to be a wife, you know, separately and individually. You know, these things help for you to come over your cultural differences and misunderstandings. And also prayer, guys. The Holy Spirit, Jesus, that's going to be your main person to go to, because there are times when, you know, when it's like, okay, me, I can't talk to this man, so please, Father, talk to your son. Like, you know, and it has to be a situation like that. So these are the keys to overcoming cultural misunderstandings. Struggle that we had to overcome was long distance. I mean, that right there probably has to be the number one thing. That's probably like the biggest struggle that we've had to overcome in our relationship, in our marriage, all of that.
Long distance, see, if God did not destine this for you, don't try it. Yeah. I'm telling you, because it's not easy at all. It's one of the hardest things I've had to do in my whole life.
Yeah, same.
Like to meet somebody, fall in love with the person, get married to the person, travel a whole year. I mean, in the beginning part, when we had not met each other, we had this long distance, 6 months of time apart, which was like, you know,
in our courting stage,
you know, and
which was hard enough in itself, you know.
It was hard, but you know, it was easy because you knew that in less than 6 months, we were going to get married. Mm-hmm. We didn't know initially, but the way it was going, we knew that we were about to see each other, right? But after we had got married, traveled West Africa by road, and then came back to Nigeria, and she got pregnant, and then she had to go to the US to go give birth to this beautiful face here. Yeah. That right there was a game changer, because imagine being with somebody for a whole year and a half, and then you have to be apart for a year and a half again.
Yes.
What that?
The only tip that I can give for this situation, really, to overcome something like this, is really God. You have to keep God there at the forefront, because that's the only way you overcome something like that, because it's hard. It's so hard. You know, don't get me wrong, there are benefits that come from it, you know, because it helped us to strengthen our communication with each other. You know, we learned to cultivate intimacy without being together.
Yes.
So there's definitely a lot of things that helped our relationship, let me say, you know, coming from the long distance. But guys, it's not easy. you just kind of have to pray. You have to be prayed up, seriously, because that's the only way to overcome something like that. You have to be prayed up, and cultivating a level of intimacy, having date nights, eating together. That kind of helped us. We stayed pretty much, you know, we talked to each other throughout the day. Like, there wasn't a time that we did not talk to each other.
Yo, this woman had me talking from 7 in the morning our time, like let's say like 12 Nigerian time, West African time, up until like 4 or 5, you know, and then again from like 8 till like 10, 11 every single day. And sometimes in between those times we can do like another 1 hour conversation, but that right there was what helped us, you know, and it was what actually helped save us from being distracted. And another thing is, for me, the one tip I would give for men is try not to be idle, you know, because when I discovered that we had an apartment in Nigeria that we were staying in Aja, and when they left, it was just me in the whole house, right? I was in the whole house for like 6 months, about 8 months thereabout. But when I discovered that I couldn't stay idle anymore in the house, or I couldn't stay in the house alone, you know, I brought the idea of us not renewing our rent. So I didn't renew the rent, and I packed up my luggage and went to stay with my parents. I went to stay with my mom and my dad. You know, I took care of them for about 6 months too, and that helped me because I was preoccupied. You know, I was with family. I wasn't just
stayed busy too.
Yeah, I stayed very busy. So
taking care of your parents.
yeah, it wasn't just like I was all alone to myself. So that helped me a lot, you know. And also I feel like you have to be prayerful, you know. As a man, you have to be very prayerful.
Very much so.
Yes.
Not only that, I feel like another thing is another reason why open communication is good, because, you know, him as the man, or you as the man, you should be able to tell your wife, look, I don't know, this thing is getting hard. I mean, because let's be honest, men have needs, you know. There's no shame in it, and that's the way that God made you people, you know. Me, my own, or women, you know, we don't necessarily, you know, we can go without and it not be a thing for us, you know. But men, you know, this is something that they need in order to function. And if you don't know, guys, we are talking about marital sex. So, you know, so yeah, but there were times where he would be able to tell me, like, look, I'm really fighting, you know, right now. I'm really fighting with some temptation right now, or whatever the case may be. And I'm not gonna be like, oh, you know, you're gonna go out here and do this, and you know, this, you know. It didn't lead me to accuse him of anything, you know, but it just led us to, okay, now we have to be able to pray, you know, to leaning on God to help us through that period of time.
And I would say, man, our prayer was really working, because for me in that space, not like there was no temptation, but nothing really was interesting me like my wife, you know. And I don't know if it was our prayer. I think it was our prayer, guys. I think it was our prayer, because there's difference in it. There's difference between marital sex and then just casual sex. It doesn't hit the same way. And then I learned that quite before getting married, right? And then I learned to avoid women, because I know the trouble that comes with it also.
Yeah. Like, there would be times where he would tell me, oh, this girl, she was, you know, she was eyeing me today, or she, you know, was acting like she wanted something from me today, or something, you know. And that again comes with being able to keep communication open, because now I know, okay, what he's gone up against, and I can pray for him. Like I said, you know, I can pray for him, or, you know, we can come up with strategies of how to do these things. He knows who to avoid and all of these things like that,
you know. And for the most part, I wasn't sitting in the midst of temptation, you know. I wasn't trying to put myself in the way of it. Like, wherever I was trying to make sure that I could avoid it as much as possible, you know. And I really thank God. And when I saw that I couldn't take it anymore, I had to be like, you know, baby, you gotta come back. You gotta come back.
Yeah, we have to figure out something. And that's when we decided to figure out an alternative of, instead of, okay, let's go into Nigeria right away, what's something else that we can do in the meantime? And God helped us to plan that also. It wasn't just like we went on to our own and said, okay, this is what's gonna happen. No, we partnered with God to say, hey, God, this is becoming too much. We can't take it. You are the one who said that man and wife should not separate, you know, and the temptation is there. And from that, you know, God partnered with us and the Holy Spirit to come up with a plan of an alternative of how we can come together quicker than what we probably would have been facing had we still been waiting.
And also, we also did try to work a way out, you know, when she was pregnant, you know, and have her come in that space too.
Yeah.
Like, she came back to Nigeria, you know, we stayed together for another like 2 months, you know, before she went back. So that also helped with fighting temptations, you know, and also coming back together really helped take away the distractions and stuff. So I feel like in the space of separation, there should be a little compromise, you know, of looking for a way to come back together. Because yeah, God is not interested in couples being separate. So if you take it back to God and be like, God, this is your word, no man, this is your word, you know, he himself would make it happen. He'll give you guys the ideas you need to make it happen too. So
yes. So another struggle that we had to overcome was like family dynamics. And I wouldn't say that this was like a big struggle for us, because our families were very good with this, but it's something to consider if you are in a intercultural relationship, or if, you know, you're thinking about being in an intercultural relationship, you know, you want to, you know, date a African man or a Nigerian man or something like that. It's definitely something to consider, because there are people out there who do not get along with their in-laws.
It's a struggle,
you know.
Ladies, pray for a very good mother-in-law.
Yes, put that in your prayers. Just the family that you're coming into, period. You need to, not just the mother-in-law, but the whole family that you're coming into, because
Nigerian men, it's hard to take them away from their mother. I mean, it's not like they are mommies, we are mommy's boys or anything. But, you know,
yes, they care for their children. They care for
our mothers love us. We love our mothers. You know, they've been a part of our journey throughout the whole lifetime. So
yes, family is a big deal in African Nigerian culture. If the family sometimes is not involved, that could be something that really hinders your union and hinders your relationship.
Yeah, one of the things I prayed for before getting married was, God, please give me a wife that loves my mother. And this woman here, she loved my mama dying.
Ah, that woman. Don't know, this woman, she prayed for me. And that's why we have this baby right here. She prayed for me. I remember, guys, I talk about this on my channel often, but I had complications with my periods growing up. And like, literally, when we were there, my cycle was on and it was just so horrible. I was cramping so bad. And this woman, she let me lay in her lap like I was a baby and cried.
You're a baby now.
Ah, that right there. You can't find that everywhere, people. Like, literally. You cannot find that everywhere, you know. And that's a thing too, you know, like making sure that the family that you're marrying into, you know, the earlier that you can get to know each other's families, the better. Involve them enough into, like, in the beginning stages, so that they learn to trust your partner the same way that you trust your partner.
Because it definitely would have been a struggle if she and my mother didn't get along well. And I really thank God that didn't happen though.
Yeah. Another thing to consider as far as family dynamics go, is just on a different, like on the other end of the spectrum, is not involving your family too much, you know, that they try to dictate what goes on and what happens in your marriage. When we got married, you know, Nigerian, if you have a Nigerian in-law, you know the first thing they want after marriage is baby. Like, literally everybody after we got married, it was like, oh, baby, 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 have twins, have this, you know, all of these things. And that really wasn't our plan because we knew that we wanted to travel, right?
Yeah, we wanted to enjoy each other first.
But let it have been a situation where, you know, we let our families get involved a little bit too much. And that also could have been a hindrance to our relationship. I say proceed with caution when it comes to family. You have to take things with a grain of salt.
And one other thing that we did was we tried to, we had a discussion, you know, telling each other that no matter what happens, family is not the first people we run to tell about what is going on in our marriage. Like, we keep them out of whatever goes on in our marriage. Yes, we share some things, you know, the necessary things, maybe our travels, our all that, but the in-depth things happening, the in-depth of things happening, you know, we don't go ahead and say it, you know, or share it with anybody.
Yes, it's not every problem that we're gonna run to this our family to say, you know, to be, oh, he did this and this and this and this. Now I'm upset, you know, because I don't care what you say, your family is going to be biased towards you.
Yeah,
so
they will support you.
They will support you naturally.
Yeah, and then we also agreed that we were never gonna, if we had any issue that we couldn't resolve within ourselves, like any dispute that we could not resolve within each other, that we were not going to take it to family, right? It was either going to be a mom or my mom, or my pastor or our pastor. Like, yeah, a neutral person. Like, before it even gets to our mom, like, yeah, it's to get our pastor first. Our pastor will be the first person that we should look towards to resolve the issue.
But even with our moms, the reason why we even chose our moms, can you do this fast? The reason why we even chose our moms is because both of our moms are like neutral people, you know. Like, my mom, if I come to my mom and I say something, like, she's not going to immediately like bash him or anything like that, you know. She may not necessarily take his side, or she may not necessarily, like, you know, take my side to be like, hey, you're right, or this, but she can help me work through my issue, you know, from a, like I said, non-biased standpoint, and also from a place of like just listening, just being able to listen. Now his mom, if I come to his mom and I say, listen, this is what David has done, you know, she will then say either one who, you know, she will help either one who is right, who is wrong, and she will, you know, correct us both, you know. So having,
look, my mom will not support me, she will support this woman here.
So having that, you know, type of person to, you know, be able to come to where, like we said, it's not like a biased situation, then that helps too, you know. I highly suggest having a person like a pastor that you can go to, that you can talk to be able to work through your problems if you can't come to an agreement, because yeah, I mean, that really helps. Also, doing counseling first, let's even go there. Do counseling before you get married.
Yes, so shout out to Pastor Remy Opale, pastor in what Assembly Potter's house. He was the one that, you know, gave us the counsel that we needed, you know, and even if it wasn't for long, I mean, the little time we spent was really worth it. He really elaborated on things that were necessary and things that we actually begin to see every now and then in our marriage. Yeah. And his counsel was from a non-biased perspective, you know. He always told me that I'm not here to support you. And even before we got to where we agreed to get married, or where she agreed to get married to me, you know, before we got to that time, when I met her first, the first month after I met her, I was like, yeah, I need you to talk to my pastor. She was like, oh really? I said yes. So she was thinking it was going to be somebody that will like talk in my favor or anything, but this man gave her in fact as realistic as it can be.
Yes, he even told me, he said, you know, when David asked me to speak to you, I told him that I would not, look at that lizard. I told him that I would not, you know, I'm not going to take your side or try to make you look good or anything like that. You know, I'm going to be honest with her. And yeah, like he told me that, and he was very honest with me. He, you know, just told me, he didn't even really speak about David that much, you know. He told me, yes, he's a good man, he's a good person, you know, his heart is good, but mostly he talked to me about what it takes to have a successful marriage, you know, because the person can be as good as they want to be, but it takes two, you know, it takes two to have a healthy marriage, and that includes both of us. So yeah, that was one of the things that helped us a lot in that aspect. And I think that kind of just goes back to, you know, the communication side of it. And we kind of want to touch on how to communicate in intercultural relationships. I mean, this is in marriage period, to be honest with you, but you know, it takes some communication skills to be able to navigate this type of marriage or this type of relationship. So one of the things that you want to make sure that you're doing in to be able to communicate is have active listening.
Sure.
Like,
this is too quick to talk. Listen first.
This is something that my husband struggles with. Active listening. Because me, I'll be talking to him and he'll be pressing his phone or doing something. I mean, you don't do it that much, but there's times when you still have to be like, I still have to be like, hello, are you hearing me? You know, because yeah, when you can give your partner your undivided attention, it doesn't have to be a question of, are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you understanding me? And yeah, when you are actively listening to your partner, giving them your undivided attention, you know, that also eliminates miscommunication.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to be, you know, your partner, you don't want your partner to be saying something and then you only catch the bottom half of it, but you didn't catch what they said at first to even make them say something like.
Yes. I've learned over time that whenever we're about to have a conversation, I shut down the part of my brain that can cause distraction and listen to her.
Is that what happens? You shut down the part of your brain that causes distraction.
Because she'll be like,
please, if you know which part of the brain is that he's shutting down that causes distraction, leave a comment down below. Because I need to know.
Well, yeah, sometimes, you know, she'll be like, are you listening to me? I'm like, oh, okay, I hear you. But, you know, women, they want your undivided attention. Undivided.
Is it just women?
You.
If you were talking to me and I was doing something else, how would you feel? Okay, let me not lie. I do it often because women are different.
I wanted to say, what's going on here?
Women are different.
And that's the scope she will give me.
Women can multitask.
Women can multitask, baby.
Literally though, women can multitask. We can multitask, you know, and I'm not using that as an excuse, because us women, we should still give our husbands undivided attention. You know, that's a sign of respect, naturally, you know. But yes.
But you know, I don't press my phone when I'm talking to you. You're talking to me. When we're talking.
No, when we are
Having
talking, when we are
serious
having a
conversation.
serious conversation, I'm not talking about just a serious conversation. I mean, like if I'm just saying something,
Okay.
sometimes, you know. But yeah. So anyway.
Actually ask so that I know if I'm doing wrong, I can correct it.
Well, speaking of, that's another way, that's another important tip on how to communicate is asking questions and gaining clarity. Guys, if there's something that you're not understanding, please ask the question, you know.
Just be guided.
Yes, you know, I would rather have to repeat something a few times for him to really understand than for him to not understand, act like he knows what I'm talking about, and then later on down the road.
Like what were you saying that time?
What? Yes,
Be
yes,
like-
yes. Like what were you saying, or basically, you know, him misinterpreting what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be, you know.
Yes, you have to actively listen to each other and listening to understand. Please don't just listen to reply.
And but that's where active listening and asking questions comes in. You want to listen to understand. So if it's something that you're not understanding, it's okay to be like, okay, so what I hear you saying is this. Is that right? You know, you can simply just ask your partner and then they can say, no, what I mean by this is this. Or yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Sure. Yes. People, that's to listen to your wife, oh. My brothers need to listen to your wife, oh. Because these women, they have natural instincts for bad things. For good and bad things, they know. I don't know how God take create them like that. They know.
It's called intuition.
Women, we know.
Woman's intuition.
Like if something is wrong, or if something is not going well,
We will know.
the woman will know. I'm telling you, so I've learned the hard way. Sometimes I get coconut head, I know the hear. But when I don't hear, I always find out along the way why I should have listened.
Yes, and then that brings us to tip number 3 of how to communicate is to resolve conflict gracefully.
Yes.
That means don't do this name calling.
Blaming.
Yes, blaming. You know, this is something that he tells me all the time. Like, you know, there's the problem and then there's us. We have to work together to resolve the problem. But we are not the problem, you know. And that's how you have to look at it, you know. You can't think about, oh, this person is now the problem, because then that will put you against that person. And yeah, you just have to be able to, you know, resolve issues in a way that is not, that you aren't gonna regret it later on.
Yes, true. And basically, I don't like the mentality of,
God, I was supposed to cut this.
yes, I don't like the mentality of, oh, there's a problem. There's a problem, and then the problem is now we are the problem. Like, what is it that is going on? And secondly, I don't like raising my voice when I'm communicating. If we're having a dispute or anything, I don't like to raise my voice. I like to tell you how I feel in the most respectful way possibly, right? Calmly.
But this also goes to understanding your partner's culture, you know, because as a Black American woman, it's natural for us to speak loud. Like, just in my family in general, outside of even, we don't have to be in an argument or anything. We just speak loudly. We talk loudly. So, you know, sometimes, yes, there may be a situation where I raise my voice and him, instead of being upset like, oh, why are you shouting on me, or who are you talking to, or anything like that, you know, he can say, okay, baby, let's bring it back down. You know, he can make me aware that my voice is raising, and then he can say to, you know, he can ask me, okay, now I need you to bring it down because I don't like that.
Yeah, if we cannot bring it down, can we skip the conversation for another time?
Right.
Can we leave it and just go do other thing else and come back to this?
Yes.
Because for one, I wasn't raised like that. My father was a very calm man, calm and collective person. You know, he made sure that he was able to pass his message without insulting anybody and without being insulted also. So for me, that was very, very important to me. I don't. Yes, go ahead and add it to me. I don't want to be shouted at. I don't want to be. Yeah, I don't want to be shouted at all. Like at all. That should never happen. You know, I don't want to. Not from nobody, not from my wife. You know, even my mom, she doesn't shout at me. You know, she wants to talk. Yes, she talks to me and all that. You know, except when necessary. My mothers. You know, but still, I don't want that to be a stilo. Like when we are talking, we start raising voice, because I didn't grow up like that basically, and I don't want my child to experience that. You know, and feel like it's comfortably to shout at somebody. You know, when you are talking, and I don't believe that you need to shout to air your opinion. No, feel like you can still tell me how you feel respectfully, and I will listen. So, yes, that's one major thing with couples, you know. They shouldn't ever get to the point of shouting at each other, you know. That's not mature.
Yeah. That's
not mature at all.
Or, like you said, calling each other names.
You are this, you are that, you are... No.
Oh, you are stupid, you are this.
No,
yes.
no.
Don't do these things.
Don't do that, don't do that. Even jokingly.
Yes.
Because jokingly is how it starts. You know. Jokingly, when we know we are joking, yes, let's joke. I think the joke be like, you know, guess it. You know, that kind of thing. And yeah, that's joke, you know, but
in the middle of
an argument, it's not necessary at all. Don't joke like that in the middle of an argument, because the person next will not take it like a joke.
So, guys, that's it. That's it. These are our tips for navigating intercultural marriage.
Yes, so, and lastly, let God be the foundation of your marriage.
Most importantly,
in fact, this should come first.
Yes.
Let God be the foundation of your marriage, because marriage cannot work without God.
Yes, and where you yourself cannot, you know, understand these things or whatever, trust me, the Holy Spirit will be there to convict you. Will say, hello, what are you doing?
Okay, let me be a pastor for 1 minute, right? Now, God is love, right? You cannot understand love without first knowing God. And you cannot love, there is difference between the way the world loves and the way love is with God, right? So the love of the world is this love and hate situation.
Yes.
So that's not how God loves. God loves you. He doesn't love you and hate you at the same time.
Unconditionally.
It's unconditional love, right? That means even when I don't feel like doing something for you, I'll still go ahead and do it. Sometimes when we have an argument or something, that don't stop me from making meals that we will eat, or that don't stop me from doing what is necessary that I know that is best for both of us. And that's what love is about, you know. It's not the way the world calls it. This
man, we will get into an argument and he will go out, or let me say disagreement. We don't argue like that, but he will have a misunderstanding or a disagreement about something, and we will take some time to maybe cool off or whatever the case may be. This man will go out and come back with my favorite things while I'm still mad.
Yes, now.
He will come back with my favorite
too. Like,
yes.
I know they talk to Ramu. I know they even say
he doesn't come inside and say, here, I got this for you. No, he will put it aside. Then once we are talking, or if I see it, I'll be like, see this one.
I'm telling you, see, you have to learn this dynamic. These things are just dynamics. And I tell her, like, you cannot love like the world loves. It's not going to work like that. You understand? I got this character from my father. Like, this is how my father was. My father was this kind of man. Even if him and his wife, they're having the highest argument, right? They don't sleep with that argument. They don't allow that argument go to bed with them. Like, they sort it out, and the next minute you see them smiling like they didn't have any argument at all. You even be like, are these people not the people that I saw shouting or talking or all that?
Yes.
You know, but that's what love is actually. That's what love in God is actually. You know, it's not love that oh, I did this for you, you should do this for me. Or oh, I did. No. It's because I love you, I'll take care of you, regardless of what your character is.
Yes.
Right? Regardless of how you are, regardless of what you do. I mean, there are some things you don't do.
And that's what the husband is called to do, okay? The Bible says that the husband is to love his wife as Christ loved the church.
True.
Okay? And that's how Christ loves the church, unconditionally. It doesn't matter how many times, you know, you turn your back on God.
You fall short.
God is still there for you. So let that one be a lesson.
Yes, so my people.
But yeah, so just remember, guys, that, you know, in order to create a healthy, lasting intercultural marriage, a marriage period, but you know, we're talking about intercultural marriages here. You know, you need patience, you need understanding, you need communication, and most importantly, you need God.
Yes.
So
You need God.
anyways, if you guys found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe, guys. Share this. If you know somebody who's going through this or wants to be in an intercultural relationship, share this video with them. And yeah, make sure you hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we upload a video. And we'll see you on our next video. So I had to come back and show you guys what we made, what my husband made. But guys, look at this. Seafood.
Chop well.
We have spaghetti and plantains. And this one is finally awake. Say hello. Say hello. And she's ready to eat.
Yes, sir.
Guys, anyway, I just had to show you guys real quickly what we made, and yeah, we're about to eat.